Most hated opinions. Back with some more of this industry politics. It looked like another member of YSL took a plea, but this one is different. This one is kinda, I believe, it's worse than the rest of them because of what was said in the plea and what was signed off to in the plea. Well, this is Antonio Mounk Tounk Sledge. This is Mounk Tounk taking a plea deal. But like I said, listen to what was said in the plea, what he signed off on. Hold on, let's play this.
Statement contained within defendant's factual acknowledgments contained within this plea agreement. Section 4, defendant's factual acknowledgments. Have you initialed each and all of the defendant's factual acknowledgments contained within Section 4 of this document?
Yeah. So basically, did you sign off on everything that I'm about to read? Did you initial and put your name next to everything I'm about to read? And are you saying that these is all facts that you will testify to later when we call you at the trial?
No. And is that initial AS your initial?
Yes, ma'am.
As a producer,
not the
years, I think this is
not the ad right there. Like
factual acknowledgments are as follows. Number 1, Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include, but are not limited to, colors, hand signals, and terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. Number 2.
He don't have to say yes, ma'am, after each one of these, because he signed off. He signed his initials next to each number she's reading. Number 1, YSL is a criminal street gang. He signed off, AS. Yes, it is. That's factual. Number 2, she's going to keep going down the line. When she get to the 13s and the 14s, it starts getting crazy.
Defendant has been a member and or associate of YSL since 2012.
He signed
Number
off.
3,
Just imagine, yes, ma'am, after everything.
YSL, and to support and express loyalty to YSL, defendant and co-defendant Demikion Garlington and Quindarius Zachary appeared in a video with another person, AS, where defendant brandished a weapon used in a drive-by shooting, and where on behalf of YSL, defendant threatened to harm a person named Kel, a rival gang member who had begun a relationship with defendant's ex-girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 4, on or about April 28th.
So in number 3, he just told on Kel. He told on a nigga from another gang. Number 3. He not just telling on YSL with this one. He told on a nigga from another gang. And I'm just thinking that it's from YFN Lucci's side. Like, you feel me? But we just gonna keep going. Number 3, he told on somebody outside of YSL.
2015, as reflected in Fulton County Indictment 15SC 138994, defendant and fellow YSL associates Demikion Garlington and Quindarius Zachary committed a drive-by shooting using the firearm defendant wielded in the video referenced in Part 3 of this section, targeting family members of a rival gang.
He just admitted he signed off. Remember, everything she's reading, he already signed off to, saying that it's factual, it's the truth. So he just said that he was in a drive-by with some other YSL members and they were shooting at the family of rival gang members.
Number 5, defendant and his fellow YSL associates committed the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3 and 4 above on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL. Number 6, defendant admitted committing and was convicted of aggravated assault and participation in criminal street gang activity, among other charges, for his participation in the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3, 4, and 5
Same
above.
drive-by.
Number 7, defendant was told by another YSL associate that immediately after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., YSL associates met at the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia, to discuss.
The only person that told him that was Woody, because that was in Woody's it was rumored to be what Woody was gonna tell. Woody was telling that he had information about what happened after the Nut murder. And this nigga Mounk Tounk is basically saying, yeah, Woody was telling the truth. I got the same information.
Discuss the murder. Number 8, defendant personally knows that one or more YSL associates committed the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr. on behalf of YSL. Number 9, on January the 10th.
So when he comes back to testify, he's going to testify about what he knows about the Nut murder.
2015, after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr. Defendant and other YSL associates gathered at the home of Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, who gave defendant and other YSL associates cash money to lay low.
He just implicated Young Thug in a Nut murder, said that after the murder, a bunch of YSL members that was involved in the murder went to Young Thug's house and he gave them all money to lay low.
Number 10, defendant has personal knowledge that on January 10, 2015, after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., YSL associates traveled to Miami, Florida with co-defendant and YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. Number 11,
So he just implicated Young Thug in leaving with the people that's accused of killing Nut. He went with them to Miami. And he's willing to testify to that when the trial starts.
Defendant did not murder Donovan Thomas Jr. and was not a party to the crime. Number 12, defendant did not murder Shamel Drinks and was not a party to the crime. Number 13, defendant...
Planning a family?
Oh,
check your sperm count.
These ads is killing me.
Cannot truthfully assert that the persons charged in this indictment with the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr. are not guilty of the murder, and defendant will make no attempt at trial, prior to trial, or after trial to exonerate the persons charged in this indictment with the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr.
So he's basically saying he wasn't there to witness the murder, but he's not going to say that these individuals accused of murdering Nut are not guilty, and he's not going to try to prove their innocence.
Number 14, the gas station at 151 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, is one of multiple locations where YSL associates sell drugs and do not allow other gangs to operate.
He just gave up the turf and the trap. He just, remember, everything that she's reading, he already signed off and said that it's a fact. It's factual statements. So he just gave up where YSL sells drugs at. He gave up the turf and the trap. The gas station on Cleveland, he gave up the trap.
Number 15, the gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, is another location where YSL associates sell drugs and do not permit other gangs to operate.
He gave up another trap and some more turf. Another gas station is YSL turf, and it's a YSL trap where they get money at. 2 of them.
Number 16, defendant has personal knowledge that he and other members or associates of YSL have either participated in or directly committed at least one of the following crimes in order to increase the notoriety and reputation of YSL: murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault, attempted murder, theft, illegal gun possession, and illegal drug possession and sales. Mr. Sledge, have you had an opportunity to go over each one of the defendant's factual acknowledgments and make corrections where necessary?
Yes.
And do you now acknowledge under oath that each of the factual acknowledgments that you have initialed in this section are true and correct and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so basically she made him say what I've been telling y'all, that he signed off on everything and let them know that everything on that document was truthful and was accurate. She just made him say on record the same thing. Did you sign off? Did you initial everything? All of these counts from 1 to 16, I think it was 16. From 1 to 16, did you initial everything? Yes, ma'am. Is everything truthful? Yes, ma'am. Is there any corrections that you need to make? Or did you see any corrections that need to be made? No, ma'am. So basically, this, to me, out of everybody that's taken the plea so far, this is the worst one, because he mentioned things that other people that took pleas never mentioned. They didn't mention anything about the gas stations. They didn't mention nothing about the drive-bys or the murders. Like, he mentioned a lot that wasn't talked about before he took this plea. And the shit about it is, the reason I feel like they did it that way is because he must have gave up so much information. They want him to testify to everything that he said, so they only giving him the 15 years probation, and they're gonna drop the gun charge if he comes back and tells. If he comes back and fulfills his part of the plea, he comes back and tells everything that he says about the gas station, about the drive-bys, about the murders, about Young Thug paying him, about Young Thug going to Miami with him. If he comes back and testifies on all of that, they're gonna drop the gun charge, and all he's gonna have to do is 15 years on probation. So I believe that Mounk Tounk, Antonio Sledge, is the biggest. So far, he's the biggest rat out of YSL. He gave up the most information. He gave up the most information in his plea deal, and he could hurt him the most with the information that he gave him. So everybody talking about Gunna and what's boy name? I think there's another dude that just took one too. Another guy, another YSL member that just took one. But until I see another member give up more than what Mounk Tounk gave up, Mounk Tounk so far is the biggest rat. He's not the first rat, he's not the last rat, but he is the biggest rat in this shit so far. And we just gonna leave it right there. Most hated opinions about this bitch.